System riding to the core. Yeah. Reppin' Inner City Left.
This is the Inner City Left broadcast. Today is Tuesday, August 26th. I'm Amin TMK alongside Emoja, Lil Tanky, Sumler. Hello, Emoja. Happy Tuesday. What's the news? How was your weekend?
Man, all is well. Like and subscribe. Let's just say that 5 seconds into the video. Like and subscribe. If you hear it, like and subscribe.
Do it. It's good for your health. And
that'll make me feel better. And it'll cost you nothing.
Because look, it's, people hit us up and they're like, and I'm so appreciative when people are like, oh, I know you guys are in DC. It's crazy out there. Hope you guys are okay. And it's like, y'all, let's acknowledge we live in a dystopia. Can we just, let's just get that out of the way. And DC's here and they're here in DC now. They're about to be in Chicago. We'll see, but it looks like they're about to be in Chicago and possibly in a city near you. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about the whole "Are you okay?" thing. And again, we appreciate everyone who asks. We live in a police state already. I don't know about you, but when I leave my house, it's a police on every corner. It's blue lights. It's like at the end of the day, those people they might as well be the military. What's the difference to me? They ride around in bulletproof cars with vests on and a fully equipped gun. I mean, it's not like other places. Like, they are loaded to the gills with weaponry.
Yo, man, we joke about being a rap star is the most dangerous thing you could do, you know what I'm saying, in America. To that point, I could say the police aren't the only people that's pulled guns on me, but they're certainly the last several people that have pulled guns on me.
It's dangerous everywhere. The conditions that we live in poverty and redlining and all the other things that go with living in the United States, and it's just worse when you're a black person or a brown person, or maybe you're Muslim, or maybe but for the most part, the class solidarity movement that we exist in is poverty for you, so you can infight with each other and don't come for the systems, because the systems, y'all, that's who we should be going for. That's who we should be maintaining our focus on. Anyway, I'm not trying to high horse it here. I'm just saying it's always like this. It's always like this. It's always crazy out here. And probably if you live in a big city, too. So let's dive into some politics, some geopolitics, if we can, and get to the title of this video. And this is a video I want to show. I dare not show the whole thing. So I've trimmed it down to size because, look, I don't know if it'll stop YouTube for being mean to us or whatever it is. It's not like we're the biggest platform, but they always got a little something to say. Or whatever. Maybe you're listening on a podcast, which I guess is probably
add like a 5-second cat video clip in the front.
Yeah, a little
AI. Meme. And then be like, it's death in bodies. All right, back to it.
we have to dance and sidestep around every single type of image and everything anywhere, because they will just take your stuff down. And we are not the first creator to have said this on this platform. But anyway,
somehow feels like if you show the reality as it exists, it's too brutal for someone that's alive in this reality to digest.
Yeah, we all know what it really is. And again, I'm not going to get too far into it, because if you know, we'll do an episode on that another day. But let's show what we have, okay, which is the aftermath of the Israelis targeting an ambulance and civil defense crew as they were rescuing victims and the wounded after Israel bombed Nasser Medical Complex in Khan Yunis. Among them, dead, is journalist Hassam al-Masri. This is what the aftermath looked like. And again, I dare not play the whole video. Not that I don't think you guys can handle it, because we've been seeing these images for almost 2 years, if not longer. And here we go.
قتلوا الناس راح الدفاع المدني قتلوا الناس استهداف كبير الآن كما تشاهدون في هذه الصورة. تدمير كبير، قصف عنيف جدا.
You mentioned something to me earlier. It was yesterday. I can't remember. The days all go together at this point. But you were talking about when Joe Biden was sitting down with Bibi Netanyahu, and he was like, "Oh, we know you didn't bomb that hospital. It was the other team. It was they did it to make it look like you did it." And now here we are. They bombed the hospital, waited for people to go inside, and it looks like bombed it again. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is what happens, right? After years of normalization of this type of behavior, blowing up hospitals, saying that, well, the whole 24 syndrome, if there was only 24 hours to act, what would you do to stop a terrorist, right? When you use that kind of framework, you can justify anything. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's happened. I would also like to say, whatever the United States normalizes, the West will institutionalize, right? It was under George W. Bush where it began, at least openly, and then under Obama where it became a matter of standard practice, what they call the double tap strike, where you send in a missile because you have a suspected whoever in the fuck on a list, boom, and then whoever comes to investigate, boom, you send another one in, because the thing is, normally that's their nearest circle, right? Their next of kin or who they're working with or associates, affiliates. And if you're just associated, you too can be liquidated, murdered, killed, These were conversations we were having with liberals in the Obama era, saying, this type of behavior will become normalized by other countries, and liberals didn't want to accept the reality of it. This is a limited program. It's so limited that if you remember, General Petraeus left CENTCOM to go to Obama's CIA because he understood this was where the future of war was going to go. This is where most of the missions were going to go. So even within the White House and the DC scene politically, they knew this was actually what was going to become the standard operating procedure. And as America normalized that behavior, all of its allies did the same, because America can't criticize it without opening itself up to a floodgate of criticisms. And nobody has exploited this more shrewdly than the Israelis.
Yeah, and it's just normalized. I mean, like you said, we're 18 months into this, and it just seems as if nothing that, Donald Biden / you know what it is, Joe Trump, it doesn't seem like lots changing, that nothing's changing. It seems like, Donald Trump is doubling down on the, Israel just kind of runs my policy. We're seeing it sort of run the Ukrainian policy. We kind of don't know what's going to happen in China. We really don't know how it's moving forward, but the full might of, sort of what America has seems to be going towards Israel. And, someone said this earlier, and I wanted, it kind of struck me, and I don't know what you think about it. America's losing its soft power. It's just unfortunate that because of, not just obviously because of the Holocaust in Gaza right now, but whatever little good vibes America has is pretty much gone. This is another video I have to show you. I don't know if you've seen it already, but this is Mike Huckabee. And this was a very interesting conversation here. I'm gonna just go ahead and play it, and maybe you can help me out here. But this was pretty crazy, and a lot of people have been talking about it. This is again U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee talking to some of the Zionist rabbis and stuff like that are very powerful in the country.
Interesting view of anti-Semitism. Rosh grew up in America. There was anti-Semitism, of course. what I've experienced, we've all experienced it. The ambassador has a very interesting view of that. He says you can't understand anti-Semitism. He says people who are anti-Semitic, it's because they're against God, they're against the Rabbi Shalom. And we are representatives of his people, and that's why they're anti-Semitic. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Interesting view.
It's an interesting view. There's another view that since we consider the chosen people, so people are very, who are you? What are you taking big shots for? Yeah, chosen people.
And that's part of it, is that because you are the chosen people, given a chosen place for a chosen purpose.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's just where they are with it. Can you provide some context? What are your thoughts that they're seeing this?
Man, it's always hard to look at Mike Huckabee. This man was my governor for years until he aged out. And now his daughter is. Thank God for democracy, right? No fiefdoms, no kingdoms. We just inherit governorships. This man is a loon, you know? I mean, he's always been this way. This is why there should be a separation of church and state. He's a professional deacon. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's one of the spokesmen of the Southern Baptist movement, which is incredibly powerful, incredibly wealthy, incredibly racist. I mean, the Southern Baptist Church goes all the way back to before enslavement in America, and we're the ones pushing the belief that Black people are the descendants of Cain, and so it's our noble right to be slaves, right? I mean, like, this is like, we talk about cult stuff. This is the Southern Baptist Church of America, right? I don't have to look at Mormons at all. You know, I grew up around this. I've seen this kind of mentality. And what's really interesting about Christian Zionism is they don't like Jews. It was one of the hardest places for me to be a Jew was in Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't like, all they want is for the Jews to provoke an apocalypse that brings about their new Jerusalem. Like, I don't feel safe when we have people that are apocalyptical, right, put in positions of incredible power in the American government. This man is the United States ambassador to Israel. So, of course, he's always going to egg them on. And when you have this type of, let's be honest, fanatical views on Zionism, right, there's no way you can be an honest broker. He'll never look at Palestinians as people. At best, he sees them as interlopers, inconveniences to be removed as humanely as possible, right? As if it is the West's right to determine who should and who should not be in the Levant. It's just such an incredibly racist thing. And again, right, to a Southern Baptist, these guys have to be the chosen of God, right? You know, and damn what the genetics say, damn the fact that, you know, genetically speaking, most of the people in the Levant right now, the Palestinian people and the Arabs that have inhabited that area, have some of the most genetic connections to the people of the biblical Israel. Not that any of that should matter. They're the indigenous people there, and have been for thousands of years. No one can debate this. You know, these are, again, I say this all the time when people start talking about right to return as a divine right. These are the same people that are incredibly racist and don't want to see Mexicans in California and in Arizona. What about their divine right to return? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's illegal immigration. Well, you know, I'm sorry, but Mr. Chudowski was from fucking Poland. You know what I'm saying? He got a right to Poland. You know, it is what it is, man. This is who runs the American government. They're all in different little factions, different little cults, you know, and I'm sorry, it's hard to not look at the Southern Baptist Church as a cult when you look at their core fundamental beliefs.
Dude, great. This is great context, you know, and that's why I just think we do it well. Of course, there were so many great news, you know, and analyst shows out there, but I just feel like we add a little something extra. I want to read an excerpt. I'm reading. Do you remember the book that Joe Biden purchased on Palestine, and he was like walking out, and it created a big controversy? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the book is called The 100 Years War in Palestine, or on Palestine. I was reading it. I picked it up, and I want to read an excerpt from the book, if I may. A large portion of the Jews this is in 1917. A large proportion of the Jews living in Palestine were still culturally quite similar to and lived reasonably comfortable alongside city-dwelling Muslims and Christians. They were mostly ultra-Orthodox and non-Zionist, Mizraha, Eastern or Sephardic descendants of Jews expelled from Spain, urbanites of Middle Eastern or Mediterranean origin who often spoke Arabic or Turkish, even if only as a second or third language. In spite of marked religious distinctions between them and their neighbors, they were not foreigners, nor were they Europeans or settlers. They saw themselves and were seen as Jews who were part of the indigenous Muslim majority society. 1917 seems like it was working out. Seems like it wasn't a lot of anti-Semitism. Seems like it was a lot of people living in harmony in the Levant.
You can't separate. Again, when we talk about personal beliefs, they're almost irrelevant. You know, they're unfortunate often. But when you're talking about a system like anti-Zionism, or anti-Semitism, any of those things, all of that stuff comes from state laws, right? You can't look at real anti-Semitism without looking at the West. It's not about your neighbor, Joe Blow, who doesn't want Jews to marry his daughter, okay? It's about state policies that disenfranchise people, you know, like the ones we have in America, that disenfranchise Black people or Native American people, right? That's so when you look at the real roots of anti-Semitism, it's not a global pandemic in that it's something that happens all around the world because there are people that don't like Jews. It's about the practices of Europe. It's about the practices of America. You know what I'm saying? Where anti-Semitism becomes truly a powerful thing, because this is where a lot of Ashkenazi or Sephardic or, you know, other, you know, tribes, not tribes, but ethnicities of Judaism practitioners live. You know what I'm saying? So when you're in Germany and Ashkenazis are not allowed to have firsthand stores and invent secondhand stores, that's anti-Semitism. See what I'm saying? Like the entire culture is disenfranchised from being able to even take part in the market economy the way that regular Germans could. Right? That is anti-Semitism. You cannot separate anti-Semitism and Western practice. You can't separate anti-Semitism and Orthodox, not Orthodox in the, how about Protestant Christianity? Protestant Christianity has always needed Jews to punish, right? Because that is their view of how they get, they're the ones that they killed Jesus, right? This is just common Christian mindset, especially down south, in the kind of places where Huckabee is from. You know, they are the ones who killed Christ, you know, and so we must punish them, right? This is not something that has been an epidemic worldwide, right? As you were saying, in the Ottoman Empire, there were people that practiced Judaism that lived in the Levant. You know, even when you go back to the Crusader times, under Saladin, there were people that worshipped and practiced the covenant in the Levant without they just had to pay a tax. You know what I'm saying? Like, meanwhile, there are literal pogroms that are happening at this time in Europe. Okay, like there's a little thing called the Inquisition with Torquemada and torturing Jews. Right, that wasn't happening in the Middle East. That was happening in Spain. That was happening all throughout Europe. Okay, so when you look at the roots of anti-Semitism, it's always been a uniquely European problem that they've tried to foist off on the rest of the world. Oh, you guys hate Jews. Whatever they feel about Jews, they're not killing them
Why
and
can't they live there?
disenfranchising them. They live
Why
there.
do they need their own land if they can be safe in your country? You know what I mean? Yeah. No, I mean, well said. I mean, it's good context everywhere. And this is what happens. This is what happens. Okay, for our viewers who are on the podcast, I'm going to read this to you, and I'll try to describe it best I can. This is a torture device that Israel invented. It is called the Palestinian chair. They were so enamored by this creation, they taught this technique to the interrogators at Abu Ghraib. And it is a man, or I guess it doesn't matter to Israel. It could be a man, woman, child, doesn't matter, laying on a chair with their feet and their hands handcuffed to each other. And they are blindfolded, an incredibly uncomfortable position. We also know people are tortured to death. Hard to say, but they're raped to death. Not a unique or uncommon situation in Israel, okay? If you are taken by the IDF, it's possibly a fate worse than death. And this, again, it says here at the bottom, okay, didn't start October 7th. And the whole narrative is just kind of got a little too caught up, I think, October 7th. But again, this is about, at the heart of it, the lives of Palestinians, okay, and their ability to fight back against all the great things that you said, religious ideologues, white supremacists, anti-Semitic Europeans in of themselves. And this is the violence. This is abhorrent violence that is, I'm sure, against the UN, whatever. Does that matter at all? I don't even know. But again, just the worst, most awful things in the world happening in Palestine right now by the IDF. Yes. I don't know what else. Yeah, go ahead.
It is against the United Nations Convention on Torture. We commonly call that the Geneva Convention. It's absolutely, and again, right, just to push back on the Democrats, right? This didn't stop when Obama became the president. He didn't pursue charges, though he was a constitutional lawyer, against the Bush Attorney General Gonzalez and that whole gang of people that pushed this through. In fact, he essentially normalized it. I want to remind everybody that Abu Ghraib may be closed, maybe, but there are a number of what they call black sites all throughout the world.
Including Guantanamo Bay.
Guantanamo Bay absolutely still exists. It is the most likely place in all of Cuba that torture will happen. They try to say it was always Castro, but the place where you get tortured in Cuba is Guantanamo Bay.
Do you remember when I think it was Ted Cruz? He was doing the interview and he was like, "I hate Castro. My father was tortured in Cuba. He was tortured by Batista, but I still hate Castro." Like, bro, why would you play yourself?
Castro wanted to do it. He would have done it. He's mad he did.
I respect Batista. I respect Batista for torturing my bitch ass dad. That's right. He was whack. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, what are you just talking about? These people are truly insane, man.
I will remind everybody that General Batista, who is not Democratic, was not the democratically elected president.
Didn't win an
Cuba,
election. Oh.
And was deeply in bed with the Italian mafia. And had already sold his country out to mafia.
Did you ever see Godfather 2? It's a fun watch. And,
The Good Shepherd. I mean, so many movies have been written about this at this point. Books have been written. Movies have been,
made,
it's just common knowledge. It's not even secret. Lucky Luciano talked about this. He used to meet Frank Sinatra in Havana. I mean, this is what y'all wanted. This was better than communism.
Like, can we just? This should be the episode where when you watching, you're just like, guys, everything is just a lie. It's all never been that way. It's
they
all
don't
about
even lie
violence.
about it, though.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
so don't talk to me about conspiracy theories because look at what they admit.
Right.
I mean, shouldn't that let you know that every conspiracy theory at least deserves some looking into of some kind, or some, before you write it off? Like, can we acknowledge that
When the government
historically
has a legal right to destroy actions that they've done, right? When they have the right to redact things that they've done.
90% redact? You see those?
You can't use the normal academic type of rigor
No.
about where are your sources. Well, they were fucking shredded and this guy got killed. But it happened, I promise.
Freedom of Information Act, but basically you're just giving paper with black lines on it. So yeah, like there is no, it's all bad. It's all bad. I wanted to show one more video, if I may, to give us some hope. Okay. There's still some real ones out there, I think. Want to show one of our favorites. Okay. This is Susan Sarandon. She's still out in the streets, y'all. She's still out here. Where AOC at though? Where I don't see them out there, but I do.
There are many, many people.
There are many, many people
Who stand with you.
who stand with you.
You must know that you inspire so many people.
You must know that you inspire so many people.
People who are afraid.
People who are afraid.
People who are old and afraid.
People who are old and afraid.
Are looking to you.
Are looking to you.
And your voices.
And your voices.
And your organization.
And your organization.
And your tenacity.
And your tenacity.
And your kindness.
And your kindness.
To make a difference in this situation.
To make a difference in this situation.
You give me hope.
You give me hope.
To me and so many people.
To me and so many people.
And in the end, the truth will win.
And in the end, the truth will win.
It's important at this point.
I just want to acknowledge Susan Sarandon, world-class talent, incredible actress, dropped by her talent agency about a year and a half ago. Don't know if you heard about that, but, you know, still some good people out here, some people out in the streets doing some thoughts. Are you a fan of Susan Sarandon? What's your vibe on her?
I should say nothing of her being a bomb-ass actress. Rocky Horror Picture Show. No, but like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, this is what I'm talking about when we talk about, like, she's the difference between, like, what's the Garofalo guy? Like, you know, something should happen. It makes me sad, but I'm going to vote.
Hulk? Do you mean Hulk?
Yeah, what's his name? And not
Dang
Garofalo.
it.
You know what I'm talking about.
I can't believe that I picked up Ruffalo.
Ruffalo. That's it.
Remember,
Mark Ruffalo.
He did the movie on Forever Chemicals. Remember we saw it?
Right. He tried. He's a good little liberal.
He's a good little
bothers
liberal.
him. Just not enough to inconvenience himself to both third party. You know.
And to tell you not to.
Right. But I mean, this is a woman that's been putting in work for decades, literally, and it's costing her something. Real activism will cost you. I don't know. I got the salute for Susan Sarandon. She's been out there. I've actually protested with her. You have protested with her.
Right. That was the indigenous.
You know what
was that? What was that? It was the land protecting. Yeah, that was when everybody was out there really trying to protect the land from all these
just
pipelines.
Been down as fuck. Yeah, Dapple. She was out there on no Dapple. That was, you know, yeah. She's just been a real one for a long ass time, and she's always on the right side of things, even when it cost her. I just salute that. Like, that to me is what real feminists are supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, well said. And yeah, I totally forgot about that, man. That was when we first started. Like, you was like, yo, come out to this protest. And I was like, bro, let's do it. You know, that was a legendary moment. Anyway, not to toot our own horns. People always say things to us like, oh, I know you guys are analysts, but come out to this thing. Come on, guys. I'm 10 years deep into actions and organizing. Most have been doing this longer than me. So, and not to mention Keita as well. And we do have a pretty long background of community work, and it hasn't stopped. But you know, man, life is tough out here, and we doing what we can. We appreciate
y'all might not know, but they know.
Yeah, they know, y'all.
They know everything.
And it's tough to be an activist in these streets. And if you're an activist, a lot of activists watch our program as well. You guys know as well. And there's been several people arrested and targeted and even unalived. And that is, what we're trying to do. And being suppressed and all that other stuff, we still out here, man. We still doing what we can. I want to give a shout out to our podcast listeners. We're available everywhere you find podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, et cetera. Patreon.com/InnerCityLeft. Thank y'all so much for supporting us. I owe some of y'all responses, and I will get to that very soon. And Fables, Foibles, Other American Sins, InnerCityLeft.com. Music, search our names. Tanky, thoughts, feelings, what did I miss?
Like and subscribe, share with your friends. I love y'all in the comments. It's like, dang, this broadcast is criminally underreported. Only y'all can change that. The algorithm is not going to help us, y'all. You know what I'm saying? They not going to help us. Only y'all can do it. We win when y'all help us win, and we appreciate the help we get. One love. Tanky out.
All right. For Mojo Tanky Summer, I'm METMK. This is Inner City Left Broadcast. Peace.
System riding to the core. Yeah. Reppin' Inner City Left.